Hey, this is Troy Taylor with Totem Pole Nation, sitting here with my friend Cody Gray, and I was going to talk to him a little bit about patterns. And I've been studying patterns in math and geometry, and I was saying that everything has a pattern. Even, what was it, Cody, I said?
Everything has a pattern, even if it doesn't have a pattern.
Okay, yeah. So sit around and think about that for a while. But here's what got me on the patterns is a long time ago when they built the pyramids. And they built pyramids in China. They built pyramids in Iraq. They built pyramids in Egypt. They built pyramids in Mexico. They built pyramids in the Andes. I think they even built some in Russia. But even in Russia, where they had the onion domes, or they had the huge domes in Rome, and the columns, and the buildings that were like a triangle, they all followed a pattern. It's geometry. Mm-hmm. And people say they don't know why the pyramids were built. They don't know why the Taj Mahal was built. And I have an idea. And it makes me think of football, because everything I think of goes back to football. Football's a pattern. It makes me think of my friend Mike Spencer, who told me, Troy, in your house, hang things that are important, because your kid is going to remember those things that are hanging on the walls. It's like a locker room. Like you go to Primetime's office, he's got 1,000 different signs. You can't remember the sign or the symbol that's the most important. Like Cody, thinking back when you were a kid, going to your grandparents' house, what are some things you remember hanging up in their house?
Definitely pictures. Wind chimes. That was big, hanging around the deck.
Wonder why.
What's with people and wind chimes?
Well, at one time, we didn't have earbuds. At one time, we didn't have a box with gray sound or white sound or whatever it is, but they had wind chimes, and wind chimes play, and they make sound, and sound is vibration. Sound is a pattern. And you don't even have to press play. It doesn't need electricity. The wind chimes are going to chime.
They are.
I thought about wind chimes. So,
tell me this. Have you ever been to a house that doesn't have wind chimes?
Yes. Houses today. The people that had wind chimes are the people that made them. And my grandpa would make them. And they didn't have a portable speaker where they could listen to their podcast, or a sound system that would vibrate the whole neighborhood. There were wind chimes. And there's something about vibration. There's something about sound, that's at certain frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of your friends have wind chimes at their houses?
They do. They do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I was asking. It's
your friends that are your age?
Mm-hmm. Presents. You know who they were gifted by, though? Parents.
True. It's a tradition.
Parents, grandparents. They definitely weren't gifted by friends, but it was all gifted by like parents. You roll in and like I got my mom Wizard of Oz wind chimes for her birthday last year. I mean, that's just like a thing.
Wizard of Oz.
Mm-hmm. She's got a pattern.
I talk about the Wizard of Oz all the time.
Not in Kansas anymore.
The wizard ain't a wizard. And they tell you you're not in Kansas anymore. But were they telling the truth? The wizard ain't a wizard. Was he?
No.
I mean, they say that the Wizard of Oz was written because of the gold standard being changed to silver and the yellow brick road, and this represents that. But at the end, man, the wizard wasn't a wizard. The person that you think is a wizard, the person that you think performs magic, the person that is so special that we put them on a pedestal. They're not a wizard. They're a human being just like me and you. And even like Jay Bateman, the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M, he told me this. Other people have told me this. It's true. The people who are the wizards, the people who are big time, don't act big time. They'll admit they ain't a wizard. It's the people who want to act like they're big time. They're the ones that try to act like they're the wizard. Is that true or false? What do you think, Cody?
I think that's true. I think the best ones, their work speaks for themselves. They don't have to tell you how big time they are, tell you how good their work is. Everybody can see it. Do you hear that little fuzz that's going from the speaker?
No, I don't hear it. It's probably me. We were talking about patterns, right? So,
yeah,
dude, people a long time ago were smart enough to know that you're a product of your environment. You're a product of who you're around. You're a product of what you see and read and listen to. And we've almost been put to sleep. And we are controlled by screens. And there's nothing newer than today. So there's nothing new age. Today's the newest age. And when ancient people saw buildings that had symmetry, had balance, were based on a pattern.
Yep.
They followed the pattern. And today, why are buildings built that don't follow a pattern? They don't have symmetry. They're not based on balance because it affects us. You're around people who know the pattern, teach the pattern, live the pattern. You become the pattern. Or you can rebel against the pattern. You'll end up back on it.
Yeah.
Or you can think there ain't a pattern. Or maybe you think you're the pattern, that the pattern revolves around you, and you will be humbled. But show me your friends, I'll show you your future. The cheat code to life is to surround yourself with people you want to be like. There's a pattern. There's a way. Nick Saban calls it the process. The pattern ain't the end. Or maybe it is. The pattern is the beginning and the end. Nick Saban says focus on the process, not the outcome. The process is a pattern. It's habit. Football is a pattern. The pattern of football is like the military.
Yep.
It isn't like the Lamborghini on the middle of the field with a sword and a WWE belt. That pattern in football don't equate. Okay, so from what I'm saying about the pattern, what do you think, Cody?
Well, I actually had a question for you. So you talked about somebody going off the pattern. They want to rebel against the pattern, right?
Mm-hmm.
You think there's a pattern in that? All the people that say, okay, I see what the pattern for success is, the pattern to get to wherever I want to get to, right? We're the sum total of the 5 people we spend the most time around. I mean, that's essentially what you said, and that's pretty much common sense, I would think. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Same thing, right? Spend time around 5 good people. But for those people that want to rebel against it, you think there's a pattern of them veering off and then ultimately working back to the pattern of being successful?
I think that this right here, this is the pattern. And the more that you are isolated, like Pavlov's dog don't work when there's 10 other dogs in the room. Pavlov's dog works when there's one dog isolated by himself and a bell rings and he gets a treat. And a bell rings and he gets a treat. And the bell rings and he's salivating.
Yep.
This has developed a pattern that every time you look at it, every time you watch a video, every time you look at a website, somebody's making money.
Mm-hmm.
That's the pattern. That's the algorithm.
Yep.
And you're getting paid zero. So what are we? We're working for somebody else and we're making zero and they're getting richer.
Mm-hmm. See, the interesting thing about this thing is there's a cheat code around that, okay? Why are people so addicted to cell phones? Okay, it's instant gratification. You can call anybody, you can text anybody, you can get on Twitter, you can communicate. That's all great. But what do they tempt you with? They tempt you with all the cool colors, all the animations, right? So the hack to not use this all the time so you use it as a business tool or as a tool for growth is you change the color of the background, right, to black and white. It's a cheat code. If you want to cut down your screen time by 20%, all you do is you go to accessibility, you go to display and text size, you go to color filters, you turn on color filters, and it's black and white. This isn't a distraction. There's no colors.
No.
When people call me, there's no, so that whole screen, my whole screen, it lights up, but there's none of the colors on there. There's not.
It doesn't. Yeah, you're basically ignoring it, like it don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a ghost. It don't exist.
Yep. You make the conscious choice though. You're either going to make the conscious choice to press the answer button or the decline button. You're not getting persuaded one way or another.
Who did you learn that from?
I was actually listening to a podcast, the Tim Ferriss Show.
Wow.
Tim Ferriss. Yep.
I don't see you as my competition. I see you as my comrade because I'm the low man on the totem pole. All right. I'm not Tim Ferriss. Yeah. Nobody answers my phone call. Yeah. But you're right, dude. Like, I don't listen to stupid people. I'm stupid enough. Like, I don't watch Pat McAfee. I don't listen to ESPN. I don't listen to Barstool. Like, give me Pythagoras. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. That's all he knew? Nah, he knew a lot. Whenever I look something up and it says this person did not say that, there's no proof of that, I automatically think they did say that. Yeah. Because they don't want you to know what's really happening. Man, see, you like all this stuff, the pattern, the way, the process, like it goes back to the allegory of the cave 2,500 years ago. The Matrix, the shadows on the wall and the shadow makers, and they lit the dude out of the cave. They told him that the shadows were fake. He got out of the cave and he thought that was fake. Then he realized that was real and went back into the cave, and the people told him, we'll kill you if you try to make us leave this cave. And it's the allegory of the cave, man. I mean, this ain't new. There is nothing new. It's the same song over and over. I wish I could go back in time and tell my kids at Meadowbrook, Waka Flocka Flame and Boosie are feds. They're phony. They're fake. They're sellouts. You know why I know it? Because it's the same song over and over and over, whether it's NWA or Master P or Boosie or NBA Youngboy or it's Boss Man D-Lo. He ain't NBA and he ain't Youngboy. Never broke again. The people that made him can make him broke again. And Boss Man D-Lo ain't keeping it on the D-Lo. They're all characters. It's all entertainment. Dude, it's trap music for a reason. It's a trap. Rap trap. It's a trap. They want you to think that's how you get rich. Like, what are you thinking? What's real is your coach and your team and your family. We're the real people. They're the fake ones. They make us think we're stupid. They're stupid. They got $6 trillion a year to spend. We got zero. Yeah,
that's true.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking it's not just rap, though. It's everything. It's movies. It's all music. It's entertainment. That's what it is.
It's food.
Yeah, it's food.
It's everything. It's the banks. There's no way to escape it. The only way to escape it is don't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no way to eat healthy food because it's all got chemicals sprayed on it.
Yeah. And they've taken away all the healthy options. I mean, think about this. Look at how many people do you know that have bookshelves?
Yeah.
Libraries.
Fahrenheit 451.
Look, everybody wants a brand new one of the what's the new one come out? What are they at? 18, 19? Double X? Are they at 73 yet? Like,
yeah.
But what about a book? They're trapping you thinking you're going to go spend thousands of dollars on this, right? You're going to get a new one, but you can't go buy one book that might change your life.
What is a book that changed your life?
Ooh, the book that changed my life. That's a tough question.
Give me a top three.
How to Win Friends and Influence People was probably one. It just teaches you communication.
Who wrote that?
Dale Carnegie.
The billionaire Carnegies?
The billionaire, yeah. It's part of it. He's part of it's along that same path, not as far, I don't think, in my personal opinion. Number two would be The Shack. I don't know who wrote it, but it talks about God and the Holy Trinity and all that stuff. I think it explains it the best. I think it explains it better than the Bible, if that's what people believe in.
Yeah.
They might not. Again, but that's another one. I mean, you heard Nick Saban talk about it, right? Talks about how important the church is in his life and how important he thinks it is for his players and for people in general. To have that positive environment. I mean, think about it. When do you go to a church and it's not a great environment? I mean, there are some, obviously, right? There's boring. I know you're sitting there ready to roll off. Oh, well, I went to this.
No, I mean, I'm not, because it's like school and church.
Mm-hmm.
Are they just buildings?
Yeah, they are.
Can school and church be anywhere?
And this will lead me to my third favorite book that changed my life. The Miracle in Darien. Don't know who wrote it, but it's about a small church in Darien, about a pastor that got pretty much pulled out of his teaching life, wanted to go work at this church in Darien, and he changed everything about it. He wanted to convince all the people that, look, the church is the people. He's like, I'm not the head of this church. God's the head of this church. And that's the part I think that a lot of people misunderstand. It's like we all get these titles. Everybody wants the titles of being the head of something. Everybody wants to be in charge, right? But when you think that you're in charge and you're all knowing, you kind of get that. You get that thought in your mind that, all right, I've got the power. I've got this position. So, my word is the final word. Well, at the end of the day, none of us are fit to lead alone. I don't think everybody needs help. And when you go through it with, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion, when you go through it with God and you have somebody to lean on and talk to and get advice from, I think you look in the Bible, you go through Proverbs and you get all this wisdom, right? I don't think you can really go wrong with Proverbs. I don't. That's what I believe in. But those are the three books that changed my life.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
What's true today was true yesterday and 100 years ago and 1,000 years ago, and it will be true tomorrow,
right?
In 100 years,
because
it's a pattern.
Yep, it's a pattern. That's the
and Solomon wrote Proverbs.
Did he?
I mean, he was wise.
Yeah,
King Solomon. Did he know the pattern? Yeah, man. I mean,
if I was a betting man, I'd say you knew the pattern.
Even the people who don't want to believe in the pattern are following a pattern. Here, Jordan Peterson. Now, I don't know much about him. Never heard of him. But I watched the video and he said, when people aren't listening to you, just stop talking. And they will tell you what they're up to. They will show you what they're up to. And you'd be very surprised what they say.
Yep.
Because y'all ain't in the same place.
Yep.
And that was great advice. And I went on YouTube and watched this first video that he ever made. And this is what he said. He said, what is matter don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
What you can touch doesn't matter. It's what you can't touch. And man, I really like when I started getting into that, like,
yeah.
There's a dude named Dr. Carl Jung, Jung.
Mm-hmm.
He's a psychologist. He was supposed to be Sigmund Freud's #1 student, but he believed what was true.
Mm-hmm.
And Sigmund Freud believed something that is false. And that's why we learn about Sigmund Freud and we don't learn about Carl Jung.
Mm-hmm.
Because Carl Jung went around analyzing people's dreams, talking to some pretty dark individuals, meaning like the spirit realm. Yeah. I mean, this is like he faced his shadow. His mom was like a schizophrenic, talked to like different people and stuff. And this is what he said. In order to know yourself, you must also know your shadow. You just can't know your good self. You got to know the part of yourself that you suppress, that you don't want people to know. And a secret to being a coach is that you truly know yourself, your good and your bad. And if you know your good and your bad, then there's really nothing that a kid or a player could do, say, have done, or will do that you couldn't also do yourself, because you're both human beings.
Right.
So like that Snoop Dogg movie, Underdogs, he had to realize that he was really coaching himself.
Yeah.
A kid who said, I don't need the team. I'm going to do it my way. I'm the show. And that's when he realized, in order to teach, you got to learn. And all the great coaches I talked to said they learned more from their players than their players learned from them. So there's a transference. It just isn't a teacher teaching. The teacher needs to learn about the students in order for the students to learn about the teacher. Have you ever heard of this before? Who have you heard it from?
The actual principle, I don't know, but I'm with you with several coaches that, you know, when I was young, I mean, I'm still young, but several older coaches, you know, they always tell you, you know, don't go into a room and think that you know everything, even though it's just your players. You know, go in with you still have 2 ears and 1 mouth, which I was going to make the comment about when you talk about Jordan Peterson, you know, let other people talk, right? You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use it accordingly. Listen twice as much as you talk. So when you sit there and you come into a room with your players, you know, ask questions. You want to find out what they know, find out about them. All of them have really cool life experiences. I say cool, you know, some of it was hard, but the fact that they're out on the other side, you know, everybody's got something to learn from that. You know, how they dealt with stuff, how they dealt with issues, challenges, obstacles. I mean, I think that's the coolest part about being a coach, because every day is something new. You know, you get to, if you're calling a different recruit every day, you know, you're going to hear a different story. Will there be patterns? Yeah, because there's patterns everywhere. But you're going to get something new from that, from player A to player B. There's going to be some sort of nuance that's different, because we're all different. And everybody's perception's different. Perception's reality, right? I've heard somebody say that, my head coach at UT Permian Basin used to say that all the time. Perception's reality. However you perceive something, that's your reality. However somebody else perceives something, that's their reality. Well, in order to understand their reality, you got to ask them questions and get to know what their point of view is. What are their experiences that led them to have their perception make that their reality?
What's the difference between perception and perspective?
I think they're one and the same. I mean, I think your perception probably dictates what your perspective is, or your perspective dictates what your perception is? That's a good question.
Perception.
You gotta wrestle with that
It's
one.
how you see the world. And then perspective is when I can go into you and I can see the world the way you see it. That's perspective. I can see things from my perception. I can see things from other people's perspective. And most people don't do that because they want us to be divided, divide and conquer, pick a side. Well, I don't have a side. Who's for me? I love who loves me. I love who pays me. Coach, you can't say that. Oh, yeah, I can. Because you find out real quick who loves you in this business. Patterns. There are patterns. And even if you think you ain't following the pattern, you still following a pattern. You're playing a role. You're playing a part. Everything that's you're going to do has been done. Like there ain't nothing new in football. Sid Gilman was the GOAT. Sid Gilman invented the modern passing game in the 50s. He wore a bow tie. And there ain't nothing better. Bill Walsh copied him. Don Coryell copied him. Joe Gibbs copied him. And then other people copied them.
Yep.
So I guess that's why you got to know history.
Yeah.
And
so
have you ever heard? Yeah, go ahead.
What do you think? What do you think about this? When they say, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes.
I think history does repeat itself. That's why there's patterns. And
do you think
does it rhyme?
Let me ask you this: like for the big significant world events that have changed the course of history of.
Give me one.
Let's go with the .com bubble burst in was it 2000?
Oh, the burst. There's always a burst. There's always a burst. This is Federal Reserve.
But if it repeated itself, we'd have another .com burst. In 2008, it wasn't .com; it was housing, right?
Yes, but here's the pattern. They build it up, and then they burn it down to build it back. When the Federal Reserve was started, there was 12 banks, and those 12 banks were NBA Youngboy, never broke again. If you look at your dollar bill, what's it say on the top of it? Federal Reserve note. The Federal Reserve ain't federal.
Federal Reserve note? Sure does.
It ain't federal. And they started the Federal Reserve because they knew the Great Depression was going to happen. And when you have 12 banks, and the 12 banks are good because they're a part of the Federal Reserve, what happens to those other banks that go out of business?
Gone. All their money goes to the big banks
that are in business.
Goes to the big banks.
So the .coms, who got all the money from the .coms that burst? I know one company that bought a bunch of them. Amazon.com. There's always a burst. There was a crypto burst.
There was.
They built it up to blow it down.
Blow it down.
Blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it. Or sometimes it don't even blow out. It blows down. And it just perfectly falls. Perfectly. But Chernobyl didn't fall. Yeah. Yeah. It's information, man. Dude, it's been done over and over and over again. Like the Great Depression. What got us out of the Great Depression? World War II.
Yeah.
Oh, the New Deal. That was such a great deal. People got to work for a nickel an hour to build the Hoover Dam. So they could build Las Vegas, Nevada. And then I never wondered why Cuba became communist. Because they didn't want them having those casinos and they didn't want no Americans going down there. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, when you know a lot, you're a polymath.
Mm-hmm.
Polymath, meaning many knowledge. Math ain't just numbers, it's knowledge. Okay. When you are a polymath, you know a lot. You know all the dots or a lot of them, and you can connect the dots. They don't want people connecting the dots, man, because you realize you are the dot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a reason they connect, because there's a pattern.
There is.
There's a pattern. Julius Caesar, that was a great leader. He was, the best. Everybody loved him, especially the people. The people really loved Julius Caesar. You know why? Because they saw themselves as one of him, and he saw himself as one of them. So what did they do to him?
They killed him.
Look at that.
Where'd you get that?
One of my students gave it to me. A student that they said was so crazy she couldn't be in anybody else's class. I think this is look at that. It's a pattern. So if you want to be like this guy, be ready for your best friend to stab you in the back. It's a pattern. It's always a friend. Have you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, my enemy just stole my wallet off my counter in my bedroom," or "My enemy just ran off with my wife"? No, it's always your friend, because you don't let an enemy get close enough. It's a pattern.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot today.
Oh, you are?
I am.
I'm learning a lot. But you know what? I know when you learn a lot, you just ain't learning a lot about the outside. You're learning a lot about
the inside.
Your inside.
Yep. The outside stuff's all relative, man. It's all about it's all whatever you. Yeah, when you know what's in here, that's what matters. Out here, dude, this is always going to change based off of however somebody else sees it or how somebody sees that this way. But in here, you're carrying that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, it isn't who I think I am. It isn't what somebody else think I am. It's what I think that other person thinks I am.
Mm-hmm. And that's the problem, because we're worried about what other people think. That's the problem. People forget that. Why does it matter what you think of me or what I think of you? What somebody else thinks of me or somebody else thinks of you, why does that matter? You don't got to live with them.
Well, it's like Survivor Island. They made Survivor Island a TV show, a reality show, but I think schools today teach kids that the world ain't competitive, that they can sleep, they can come when they want, because they're making somebody money when they're looking at their phone.
Yeah.
And it's competitive.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a job that ain't competitive and you can't get fired and nobody else wants it, there's a reason.
Yeah, for sure.
Places like University of Miami, it's competitive. Yep. Everybody's trying to get on that island. Mm-hmm. You're either trying to stay on the island or go to a bigger island, and there ain't no bigger island. But you'll get voted off the island real quick, whether you're a player or whether you're a coach. And here's something else. The true fans don't buy new jerseys. The true fans don't have to go buy, like the real Eagles fans, they don't have to go buy the Barkley jersey. And the true Giants fans will still wear their Barkley jersey because the names on the back change, the players in the game change. But GSH on the side of the Bears shirt, they don't change very often. The owners don't change, but the gladiators do. And the names of the teams don't change. So who are you really a fan of? And Mickey Mantle don't care about me, to quote the Bronx Tale. Like, Troy, are you for Trump? I don't know. Does Trump support me? Does Trump pay me? Does Joe Biden pay me? Does Joe Biden support me? I told my son, don't you ever wear someone else's logo or hat unless they pay you. Because
is Miami paying you?
Well, sometimes you go on eBay and buy shirts for sometimes you go on eBay and buy shirts for $10 so you can be one of them.
You got that shirt on eBay?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Sometimes you dress up
my.
like them to be one of them. You dress and act like what you want to become.
Hey.
Yeah. It's a hustle. It's the Wizard of Oz, man.
Yeah.
The wizard ain't a wizard. He just plays a wizard.
That's true.
Yeah, like
now when you go to Food Lion and you check out, does anybody ever ask you, hey, are you a Miami fan?
No, they usually say, hey, coach, what's up?
Oh, you know your people. You know your people.
I mean, they know me. I am them and they are me. And yeah, at the airport when I wear this, everybody would be like the U, we love the U. They got great branding.
Oh yeah. They
got great branding. Yeah. But I mean, around here where I'm from, Route 10, most of the time it's like, hey, coach, or hey, that's a piece of crap. Yeah. It's just funny, man. Yeah. Patterns. There's a pattern.
There is a pattern. There's a pattern. You know what the pattern is in your life?
What?
You're the pattern. You're the pattern.
I don't know, dude.
Chew on that. Chew on that for a couple hours.
I don't even know what I am.
You're the pattern.
There's a universal pattern. Yeah. And I know that I'm not it. I'm what messes it up. But we all do have our patterns. We have our ticks. Mm-hmm. We have our patterns. We have our ways of doing things, the words we use, our rituals, our symbols that we believe in.
What's your rituals?
Mine, don't eat until night.
You don't eat during the day at all?
Well, I mean, I used to, but my mom told me when I was younger, I said, Mom, won't you eat breakfast? And she said, because when I eat, I get hungry. I said, what? There's a reason that we're addicted to our food because it's made to be addictive. The only thing that makes money that ain't addictive is taxes. And we don't even have a say whether we pay those unless it's Uber and Lyft or whatever, and they pay you and then you got to pay them later. Your employer takes your taxes out for you. That's the constitutional amendment. Woodrow Wilson, right around the same time as World War I. Wars make money. And the only people that die are the people that they're dropping the bombs on. And it is what it is, man. Here, how about this? What you know about BlackRock Aladdin?
BlackRock. Is that a company?
Yeah. They control $22 trillion.
I'm invested in it.
That's good. They can never lose.
Yeah, that's why.
They have artificial intelligence called Aladdin. And it's so smart that BlackRock, State Street, and Vanguard all have to use it. It makes 500,000 trades a day.
Yeah.
It's never going to lose. It runs this whole junk. And like my girlfriend told me once, I think I'm going to get into the stock market. Well, when humans used to run it, that'd be like coaching against Nick Saban. And he's been coaching for 40 years and you've never coached at all. Yeah. But now it's like going against a computer program that's been getting smarter for the last 20 years. Yeah, there's a pattern.
Yeah. The big pattern with the stock market, though, is the longer you stay in it, the more you get out of it. Stock market is the greatest wealth transfer machine on the planet. I'll stamp that.
Well, there's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the people that got money in the stock market. They own the companies. So aren't the companies only going to go up? And then if they go out of business, the big companies just buy them for low. Yeah, what's up? Sure, you can go to the office. Thanks for hanging out with me.
But the thing is, if you're invested in a stock, it goes bankrupt, it gets bought out by something else. Here's the thing where normal people make the mistake is when that stock price goes down, they pull all their money out, right? Instead of holding on until that parent company takes over. When that parent company takes over, your money's going to come back. Here's the trick with the stock market. You don't lose money unless you sell. You don't lose money unless you sell. When people say, oh, I've lost $200. Well, did you sell? No, you haven't lost anything yet.
What have you really owned?
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
The stock market's a pattern. It has historically gone up
and down
and up
and up and down.
And up.
They control it.
Up and up. But it just keeps going up.
As college coaches, yeah, because, I mean, inflation goes up. So, I mean, the price of the companies is only going to go up. I mean, because the value of money is only inflating. Yeah. It's not deflating.
The market moves with inflation. Your savings account and your checking account, that don't move with inflation. Oh, no. I take that back. It does move with inflation. That thing moves down with inflation.
I mean, when we're $27 trillion in debt, where do you think that money went? It went to the stock market.
We ain't 27.
It's called money laundering. Yeah. Why can't professional and college athletes and coaches bet on games? Because they're not allowed to be a part of something that they can determine the outcome. But in politics, you can bet with other people's money and it's guaranteed to win. Because they control the policies and the laws.
No, that's true.
And they got $6 trillion to spend every year. We're $27 trillion in debt. That's the people's money. The government doesn't have any money. It's a pattern.
Yeah, it's a pattern.
Man,
it's a pattern.
What a podcast we came up with.
This was great, right off the whim. I like it.
What do you think? What's anything else on your mind that you want to ask me or say?
I think I'm good, but like the pattern stuff, like I'm telling you, it's something that you just kind of chew on and you think about. Like when you think about it in your day-to-day life, you think about morning routines, you think about, all right, your ritual, right? Not eating until the night. Why do you do that? Like, why do I have the rituals that I have? Why do I wake up at 5:30 in the morning? Why do I do yoga every morning? Why? I don't know. It's a pattern. Like I've just gotten in that pattern. What sets somebody in that pattern? Like, a podcast. Why is my phone on black and white all the time now? Black and white. Because
you're breaking the pattern.
Like, you know what I mean? But it's a pattern. Like, that's still a pattern, though. Like, people have figured it out. They figured out how to limit time on this. All I'm doing is I'm going down their pattern.
Not many. Some have. The smart ones.
You know that notification that you get every week for your screen time?
I don't even look at it.
So there's a notification that you get every week about your screen time. All right. I don't know when it comes. It comes different days for me. I don't know. But my notification, I was down 63% the first week that I did that. 63%.
And that's just your home screen.
Oh, it's all of it.
It's always black and white.
All of it.
How do you do it? I'm going to do it. How do you do it?
You go to settings.
Okay.
Accessibility.
Settings.
Yep.
Settings. I mean, dude, this is so much color on this thing. Like, yeah.
Yep. Settings.
Yep.
Accessibility.
Okay. Accessibility.
Display and text size.
Got it.
Yep. Scroll down to color filters. Yep. And then slide that little thing across. It'll go right to black and white.
Are you kidding me?
It's a cheat code.
How do I get it on black and white, though?
So just click see the little thing underneath that you can change the Yep.
Yeah. Grayscale?
Yep. Grayscale. You put your phone on grayscale, and it's I'm telling you. Have you ever heard of that?
Wow.
Yeah, you've got no desire.
Wow.
You've got no desire to look at anything on there right now, do you?
No, it's the colors.
Yep.
It's the colors. That's why candy is those colors, man. It's a pattern.
You know, all right, now that we're talking about this, I went to Walmart this past weekend. I was just going to look around. Well, I was going to get a birthday present for my nephew, but I was looking around. I saw these little chapsticks. The little chapsticks. I don't think I got one. I do got one on me right now. This little thing right here. Okay, I peeled the little thing off, but they had a pack of 8, and it was Sprite, Coca-Cola, Mountain Dew, Fanta, whatever soda, Dr. Pepper. It was wrapped in it. I stopped. I already have chapstick. I have the big pack, but I stopped and I said, "Man, I think we should get that." Why? You have a bunch of chapstick at home. I said, "I don't got one."
You're addicted to chapstick. You know why?
Why?
The chemicals in that junk. If you stopped using chapstick for a week, I bet you would never have to use it.
Really?
I never use chapstick. Only time I ever use anything is if I feel a little tingle or something, or my lips start feeling weird, I put some Abreve on. That might be like once a couple times a year. Dude, it's the chemicals. Look at the chemicals that's in that chapstick, and I guarantee you that it has caused your lips to be dependent on whatever that is.
White petroleum. I don't know.
Yeah, petroleum. Petroleum.
It's petroleum.
Yeah, it's petroleum.
That's
it's
petroleum?
Vaseline. It's Vaseline.
Oops.
What else?
Arachidyl propionate. I should have paid more attention in chemistry. Camphor.
There's no way to keep up with it.
Carnauba wax. Oh, there's a lot on here, man.
That's the reason you're addicted to chapstick, bruh. It's because you use it all the time.
Might have stopped using chapstick.
Yeah, just suck it up, man. Get some Abreva. The Abreva, it's the best medicine ever. It's for cold sores. Like when you put some of that on, dude, your lips feel great. Boom.
Abreva.
It's what they use for cold sores.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, man. That's the reason you're because you use it all the time. I used to use chapstick all the time. Really, if you drink enough water, your lips should be hydrated. Because I mean, we're not in cold weather right now. Chapstick was invented for cold weather when your lips get chapped. It's a pattern.
Wow. But
who owns chapstick? I know.
Is it BlackRock?
No, BlackRock owns everything, but it's Johnson & Johnson, I believe.
Johnson. I'm invested in them too. They're smart.
They own something that they own the brand. There can be nothing else. It's all chapstick. It's lip balm. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
But I'm the type of person, though, if I know I'm going to buy it, I'm going to go ahead and get the stock. So that way I'm going to get some sort of kickback. Like, think about it. Like, I bought Amazon. I have BlackRock, Amazon. Who doesn't use Amazon? Everybody's like, why are you in Amazon? Who doesn't use Amazon? The price is, what was like $182 the other day? That thing is going to be back at $2,000 before you know it. 3-4 years down the road? Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
it's an investment.
Yeah. But instead of me just feeling guilty about ordering everything off Amazon,
you're a part owner.
Gonna own it. At least get something out of it.
Yes.
I always say, if you're gonna go through it, get something out of it.
No doubt.
Something out of it.
Hey, brother, I love you. We had fun. I'm on. What should I call this? Patterns?
Patterns.
We did a podcast on patterns. I'm over here with Cody Gray, Coach Neil. Coach
Neil's my guy.
Yeah.
What's up?
Sun Tzu.
Oh, The Art of War. It's a great book. Season of Life.
Season of Life.
That's a good one. I read that one when I was a junior in college.
Yeah, we're live. We're not streaming right now, but we will stream this. This is about patterns.
Patterns.
Life. This man can tell you about patterns in nature. Turkeys have a pattern, don't they?
Yes, even women do at the bar. Stand on the corner. Gotta go.
They'll come to you. Yeah. There's a pattern, man. One thing I found out is women don't talk to you unless they want to talk to you. And no answer is the answer.
An answer. It's an
no answer is the answer. Like
sometimes the best answer is no answer.
Yes. Like you call your friends and they don't answer.
They don't answer.
That is the answer.
That's fine. I got my answer right there.
Yes. Yes.
They call me back a week later. I'm
That's
within
right.
a week time frame right now.
Well, at least they call you back.
In a week. I got a week.
It's amazing. Hey, man, I love you. You're the best.
Love you too, man.
This is the Totem Pole Podcast.
Totem.
We don't have any answers.